Okay, before I start, this is basically just going to be a completely unedited rant. I have really nothing else to say about this because I'm just pissed off at this right now. So anyway, Sea Wars is a strategy game cross roguelike, cross cyberpunk, cross yada 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 yada. I'm playing the video in the background, so if you can't get the idea from me, I don't know what else to tell you. This is what I want to talk about. I want to talk about why they're trying, well, not why they're trying, what they're doing to the Vita. Here's the thing. So, before this video, there was a couple of stretch goals. They've changed now, but there's definitely a bunch of Reddit comments that will support me with this. But basically, they had most of their stretch goals lined out with a few extra scenarios, so they changed it halfway through the project, which, you know, isn't a very good thing to do to begin with. The 3DS stretch goal was $65,000, the Wii U stretch goal was $75,000, and the Vita stretch goal was $200,000. Now, I'd like to point out before it actually changed, there was nothing between 100k and 200k other than extra gameplay scenarios. So they quite literally won 50k just to get the PlayStation Network development kits. Now, this is just absolutely ridiculous. Let's just start with one of the reasons this is ridiculous. You are quite literally taking the piss out of the people who want a Vita version. You are dangling a giant carrot right in front of them that they're never going to be able to get to, but there are going to be some people who are going to be like, oh, I'm sure if I donate, I'll get to the 200k stretch goal eventually. But no, they just did it on purpose. I have no idea why, just to get some extra money out of some people who want a Vita version. But that's not the only point I have to make here, just because they did a really high stretch goal. They claimed it was extremely hard to get a dev kit because they're in China, and it will cost thousands of dollars for them to get it. And here's the thing, in a comment, they actually said this. They actually said there's some sort of import policy in China that makes it really hard to get the dev kits. And yet, they're talking about putting it on a Nintendo system for about a quarter of the price. Again, this is bullshit. Nintendo doesn't have a very strong grip in China. I don't even think the Wii U is out there legally, because mainly you can walk down to any corner shop in bloody China and pick up a games console off the shelf. But there's no freaking way that they can complain about getting the Vita dev kits in there, even when they're gonna get like a Nintendo Wii U dev kit and a 3DS dev kit. There's no freaking way there'd be no tax on that either. They're just coming up with bullshit reasons to avoid it. And they're even claiming it's expensive to handle the development of the actual game. Now, that's ridiculous. Now, here's the thing. This game is being ported to PC, Mac, Linux, and Android. And those are just the four original things, the original platforms that they're going for, right? That's just stupid, because on Android, you have PlayStation Mobile. There is no freaking way that it will cost so much money to put it on PC, Mac, Linux, Android, and then complain about it being too expensive going for PlayStation Mobile. Maybe PlayStation Mobile isn't available in China. But then again, the PlayStation Vita isn't really available in China either. Hell, the 3DS and the Wii U aren't legally available in China, so what the hell is the go with this? Seriously, what's the deal? I really have no idea what they're talking about. This just sounds absolutely ridiculous in pretty much every way, shape, and form. I mean, like, if they're in China and they can't even get access to all this stuff without paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for it, then what are they doing? Are they just making the game for, like, the rest of the world or something? Do you think they'd maybe move or something? Oh, God, I really don't know at this point. It's weird. Like, why, if you have no interest in the Vita at all, because there is absolutely no way that it's not a lack of interest at this point, because, and by the way, if they ask Sony for help, like, if they asked one of the global regions of Sony for help, maybe for a dev kit or two, I'm pretty sure Sony would give it to them. Have you seen Sony lately? They have been absolutely adamant at getting thousands of people, not thousands, a few people into the indie development scene for Vita, with all the indie games that are coming out for Vita over the next few months, including Hotline Miami and Spelunky and Luftrausers, and oh god, you can just go on and on and on. And I'm really surprised that if they would ask for help, they would probably get some help. They have a fully working game here. They can get it on PC, Mac, iOS, and Android. Well, not iOS, on PC, Mac, Linux, and Android. And yet, for some reason, they don't even bother with the asking for... Oh, it's just stupid. If they really didn't want to do Vita development, which is what it appears to be in the first place, why not just say so? Like, why have Vita as a $200,000 option dangling in front of people's faces. I really don't get it myself. It's just like, why? You're just being assholes by doing that. Not to mention, they actually changed the stretch goals, so now the Vita price is actually behind a few question marks. So now nobody knows how much they actually want to get Vita development. I find it extremely hard to believe that they would run into these problems without running them onto either the Nintendo consoles or just not doing it in particular, like going for PlayStation Mobile or something like that. Because if they can get it on Android, they can get it on PlayStation Mobile. It just boggles the mind. Like, what the hell are they thinking? I'm kind of out of rant. Honestly, I'm kind of out of rant at this point, but yeah, it's just kind of ridiculous. I wouldn't give them any money, but the thing is, they actually got all the money they needed for the game to be kickstarted. Fucking hell. Anyway, this has been Blue Maxima, and I will see you all next time.